This afternoon will be Meresha Owiti, and we start off with that's commemoration of the 16 years since the promulgation of the Constitution 2010, where we are joined by our reporter Bramwell Bwire, who's at Kisumu. Good afternoon, Bwire. Maybe can you give us a glimpse of what the residents or the locals are saying? What are the gains and misses of that Constitution that bore the devolution? Have they seen the changes or not?
Well, good afternoon, Bentura. As rightly indicated, we're here in Kisumu, just trying to find out what are the residents saying, what are the misses, and what are the successes that we've gained since the promulgation and starting to use this 2010 Constitution. This year's theme revolves around constitutionalism and democracy towards 2027. I'm being joined here by Deputy Party Leader Safina Party. I don't know how to refer you. You're a man of so many titles. To call you Advocate Willis Otieno. Allow me to start with this year's theme. We're talking about democracy towards 2027. As we speak right now, do you feel the country is geared towards democracy towards 2027?
In my view, I don't think we are, because to the extent that there's a lot of political violence against people who hold contrary political views. We've witnessed this a lot in this region of Nyanza, where people have attempted to address gatherings have been stopped by those who hold contrary political views. And that undermines the democratic process, because the first tenet of democracy is the ability for all political actors to freely, without fear of violence or intimidation, to share their views and to sell their ideas, their ideologies that informs their participation in politics. If you see that an attempt by a particular group is stopped and using acts of violence against the civilian population, then that undermines the democratic process. The democracy is not just on election day. Elections is not on the polling day. I always say the date of what Kenyans call election, that's the polling day. Election is going on even as we speak. So when you see acts of violence, intimidation that are being permitted across the society, then it undermines the election. So it means the elections are not free and fair. Article 81 of the Constitution is very clear. Our electoral system should be one that is free from acts of violence, intimidation of voters. But I don't think at this particular point our election process is free from violence and intimidation of voters. Gunism has taken root, not just in this region, but across the country. We've seen so many political rallies or activities that are being disrupted by goons. There have been killings that have occurred in different parts of the country out of electoral process. And that is quite unfortunate. And Kenyans need to go back to the drawing board. If we are going to say that we are democratic, we must live to the tenets of the Constitution. Or we can as well adopt a position that we are not a democratic society, that we are a thuggish society. We are now a goon republic. So that let the strongest goons determine the public discourse. But I don't think that is what majority of Kenyans want. Majority of Kenyans want a society that everybody is allowed to freely express himself, and that's why they've owned this Constitution. We are celebrating this Constitution. These are just what I call the birth pangs of a Constitution. The labor pains have ended, but still the cramps are still there. So you are still feeling the pain of it. So the duty of the people that we go back to what the Constitution, the dream of the Constitution was.
You've talked about majority of Kenyans. Most of the citizens here in Kisumu, whom we have been speaking to from morning, they have said that the biggest gain of this Constitution was devolution. From where you sit, do you believe that devolution has so far changed the fortunes of Kenyans, or there's still a long way to go to achieve the real meaning of devolution?
I mean, to a large extent, devolution has actually worked. To the extent that you are even seeing this social hall where we are holding this celebration. This is a product of devolution, that now you have a public square where citizens can meet to discuss issues that concern them. And many other things. You look at the questions of healthcare, you look at even the question of opening up county roads. So counties have tried, but there have been challenges. Challenges to the extent that the national government, successive national governments since 2013, have, in my view, been centralist in approach. They have not fully facilitated the full realization of devolution. One thing that concerns me a lot is, if you look at the Constitution, the issues are devolved. And that's a major funding area, and that's a major challenge that most counties across the country face, where many countries don't have quality access roads, and yet the national government is holding on to Kura, Kera, and the other. They don't want to fully devolve these functions which were devolved, and they're not giving resources. The national government has also, in my view, undermined the devolved governments. Look at how the disbursement of funds is done to the county administration. Many counties, I think now they're almost 2 months behind in terms of receiving their full allocations. And that undermines the provision of services by county governments. And I'm not saying that the counties have done 100%, no. Even them, they still need to pull up their socks. The state of healthcare service in the country is still not as would be expected. There are not enough facilities that can attend to the people's needs. The issues of chronism in terms of employment has not been addressed. Many county administrations, you find complaints that governors are employing their political cronies and not serving the people.
Thank you, Wakili. In the interest of time, I'll be coming back to you later on for another another good conversation. I understand you have been one of the key players in the constitutional reforms of this particular nation. So this is your day. We'll be coming back to you for some more insights. But that's exactly some of the sentiments that are emanating from Kisumu. This is the forum that Wakili, we just pulled him from a panel where he's engaging residents on matters constitutionalism and the celebration of the 16 years of this new constitution. But for now, allow me to move on to Nyeri, where my colleague Clement Masombo is on standby to speak with some of the residents from Nyeri. Masombo, over to you.